Hi guys, welcome back. This is Professor Hank, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about some advice for new computer science students. Yeah, I think I'm going to talk. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to give you some advice, right? So many times when you first start out, right? You start out and you're learning a program and you can't figure something out and you just get completely and utterly frustrated and you think um, I'm the biggest failure ever. I'll never figure this out. This is way beyond me. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. Right? I'll never figure this out. I'm an idiot. No, you're not an idiot, and it's not the case that you're never going to figure it out. You know, you're just you don't understand the situation. Okay, um, that is completely and utterly normal. You're going to get pissed off. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to think you're worthless. That you'll never get it, and you're going to question all of your life decisions that led up to that point. Right? You're writing a program, and you're just like, I can't figure it out. I don't know what's going on. I'm a failure. No, 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 you're not. Right? Just like the meme says, there's two states that every programmer is perpetually in. Doesn't matter if you're just starting. It doesn't matter if you've been doing this for 20 years. Right? Those are the two states. I mean, you probably spend more time in the I have no idea what I'm doing state when you're first starting out because you don't know like hardly anything and you know you're completely fresh, but that's normal. That is normal. You know, that getting pissed off and that being so frustrated that you just want to take your computer and throw it through the wall, through the window. You just want to smash everything because you can't figure it out. You're doing it right. That's part of the process, right? Because after spending that weekend, you know, after spending that week where you can't figure it out and you just hate everything, you hate life, you just want why am I doing this? Why am I here? You know, and you don't want to live anymore because you just can't figure this crap out. Finally, you're going to figure it out. At some point, you will figure it out. And when you do, you're going to shift into this sweet, 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 sweet second state. The am a god state, right? Where there's going to be this rush of endorphins, this euphoria that's going to kick in, and you're going to feel like, I know I'm awesome, right? This is the best thing ever. I'm a god. I figured it out. I'm the best programmer ever, right? So it's natural for you to be in either one of these two states. Okay, don't get discouraged if you feel like you have no idea what you're doing. That's when you have to buckle down and you have to go back and review the material. All that stuff that you skipped reading because you thought maybe you would just Google it later, go back and read it. Figure it out. Keep banging your head against the wall. Eventually, you will get it, and when you do, you're gonna feel a rush like nothing else can provide for you. Right? You're gonna go into that I am a God state. Um, and I think most programmers are probably in that I have no idea what I'm doing phase state most of the time. But that is just something that is part of programming. You ask anybody who's been doing this for a while, you know, ask students who have been doing this longer than you have, and they'll all laugh because they all know what I'm talking about. They all know what I'm saying is true because you're going to bang your head against that wall and you're eventually going to figure it out. And you're going to go and feel like, you know, I'm awesome. You know, you're going to figure it out and you're just going to have this rush. Okay, it's very, 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 very rare that you have something like this happen. Right? I think I can count on both hands, maybe with my toes, how many times I've written a bunch of code and just had it work perfectly the first time. It almost never, ever, 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 ever happens. Right? That is incredibly rare. Okay, usually, you've got a plan, you've written up your code, you go to compile it, and something explodes. That's totally normal. Nobody sits down and then writes 100 lines of code almost ever, and then has it all work on the first try, right? You got to figure stuff out. Now, hopefully, you've gone through and you've gone with step one and remembered to actually read the freaking requirements. Right? For new students, that's the biggest problem a lot of times, is you didn't go through and take the time to actually understand what the problem was that you're trying to solve. That's step one. Right? People think that programming is type, 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 type. I'm programming. This is awesome. That's only about 20% of the work or less, right? The vast majority of the time, what you're doing, the bulk of the work, it's this. What am I supposed to do? What's going on? How do I do this? Or you're Googling stuff, you spend probably, like I'd say, 80% of the time thinking. You're thinking, right? You're not typing, okay? The more you think, the less typing you're going to do, okay? And if you don't understand what it is that you're trying to build, how the hell are you supposed to build it, right? I mean, think about construction workers. They're gonna go build a house. What's step one in the process of building a house? Is it go to Home Depot, buy some boards, buy some nails, go to the job site, just start banging stuff together? No, that's the last part, right? The first part is the architect sits down and figures out what the heck they're supposed to build and comes up with a plan, right? So, you have to make sure that you try to give yourself the best idea of what you're supposed to be doing first, and then you write the code, right? Think. When I was working in the industry, I'd walk by offices of our developers, and you always knew when they were working really hard because they'd be staring at the ceiling. What am I doing? How am I going to figure this out? Why doesn't this work? I have no idea what I'm doing. Holy crap, right? And then they would they'd think it through and they'd figure it out. And then once it works, once you hit that compile, and once it does what it's supposed to do without crashing, you're into that I'm a god phase, right? So, the other thing to think about too is this right here, right? When you're first starting out, a good part of your time you're going to be spent saying, why doesn't it work? Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just want to encourage you to let you know that's normal, right? Especially when you're starting out. That's absolutely normal, okay? And, you have to figure it out. And once you do figure it out, it's like just the most incredible feeling in the world. And that's always going to follow a great deal of frustration. And that frustration is built into the process, right? If you can't deal with that, then you're in the wrong profession, right? And but once you get past it, once you figure it out, it's like I said, it's like this instant rush. Unless you've done it, you can't describe it. I mean, I don't know of any other discipline where that's a thing, right? I mean, it's not like if you're a dentist and you're cleaning the person's teeth, you're pissed off, you want to smash their teeth because it's not working, and then once you finally got their teeth fixed, you're like, yes, I'm awesome. We get that. We have that privilege when you're doing computer programming. You have that kind of phenomenon. And a challenge as an instructor is that I have to let you experience that. Right? You're not really programming. You're not really doing it unless you've had that experience a bunch of times, right? And initially it's scary because you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is so frustrating. I want to smash everything. But after you go through that a few times and you've had success and you've figured it out, right? And you've had that rush, you start building confidence. You start realizing, yeah, I can figure this out. I don't know what I'm doing at the beginning. Nobody does. Nobody does, right? Even if you are an experienced developer, right? Tech is always changing, right? And those of you who are watching this, you have experience, right? Tell me if I'm wrong, right? Go ahead, try to tell me I'm wrong. You can put it in the comments or whatever. But even when you've been working in the industry, for years, okay, technology is changing all the damn time, right? The fundamentals are the same. I mean, a loop is a loop, a variable is a variable, a function is a function, modular programming, software engineering principles, all that stuff. The actual important stuff of how to program, of how to design, how to do software engineering, those fundamentals, they're ironclad, they're rock solid, right? That stuff's not changing. I mean, we're doing agile development, right? The software development life cycle. There's variations of it. Okay, fine, right? But the actual technology that we're using, that stuff's changing all the time, right? New languages are being developed, right? Existing languages are evolving, right? Every couple of years, C++ is coming out with new revisions. Python just a while ago went and changed from version 2 to version 3, making a whole bunch of different changes. Java is all constantly being updated. They're adding new things all the time. Okay. And so when you're trying to adopt that technology for the first time, guess where you're at? I have no idea what I'm doing. Right? So, you have to figure it out. One of the things about going to college and getting a degree in computer programming, it's not because, this is the end all be all. I know how to program now. Hopefully you learned the principles and you understood and you learned how to figure stuff out, right? And how to learn, because the technology is going to change all the time. You're not going to graduate and say, okay, I'm done. That's the beginning. That's just getting your foot in the door, right? So you have to go through this process of going from and growing and going from it doesn't work, why? I have no idea what I'm doing. Starting off with that and getting used to that feeling, to transition from I have no idea what I'm doing to I am a god, right? Because when those new technologies come out, you're not going to know what you're doing. Okay, that's one of the reasons I think that programmers, developers, whatever, spend so much time Googling, is so that they can understand the new technology, right? They're not Googling to learn to program. They're Googling to look up, what this new technology is, what this new thing is that's been introduced in the language or whatever. Okay, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter if a new technology comes out. It doesn't matter if you've never programmed an Android before. It doesn't matter if you've never picked up Java before. Because everybody starts off at this, I have no idea what I'm doing. And you go through that process of being pissed, being frustrated, being annoyed, and then figuring out and getting on the other side and having that rush of euphoria, and you build confidence. You're like, I don't know what this technology is. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to figure it out. Right? And I think that more than anything else is what, maybe not more than anything else, but it's up there. Okay? It should be your priority of what you're trying to build as you're pursuing a degree in computer programming, is building that confidence to say, you know what, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to figure it out. It's not a big deal, right? I've never programmed in Python before. Who cares? It's programming, right? It's just a different language. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. Okay? Because a loop's a loop, a variable's a variable, a function's a function, a class is a class. Okay? And, you're going to be frustrated when you first get started, but eventually you're going to figure it out, and you're going to get through it. You're going to work through it. The people who are successful embrace that. They understand that. They know that they're going to get pissed. They know that they're going to get frustrated. They know that it's going to be a pain, right? And they keep at it. They bang their head 100 times against the wall, and on the 101st time, you get it. You get it, and then you get that rush, and you feel that you are a god, right? And you understand that, yeah, I can figure this out. I've never seen this before, but who cares? It doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. It's just when you're first starting off learning how to program, when you're first starting a degree, when you're in your CS1 class, your CS 101 class, whatever, your very first class, you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a failure. No, you're not. Everybody went through that. Everybody did. The people who are successful, like I said, they persist, right? They persevere, and they just keep going until they figure it out, right? You might fail at your first programming class, right? And that don't think to yourself, well, that's me, right? I mean, it's only you if you gave up and you didn't try and you didn't work hard, right? That's on you. But it could also be the professor. I mean, it's like I tell some of my students, I'm like, if you fail, it could be because I sucked, or we were just incompatible, right? It could also be that you sucked, but so much about learning from somebody is being able to learn in the style in which they teach, right? So don't think it's you, and just because you're frustrated, don't think that you're never going to get it, because everybody feels that. Okay, everybody does. Everybody. It's normal. It's natural. Get used to it. Okay. The difference between people who, like I said, who are successful and who aren't, they power through it. They keep working, right? And that leads me to another quote, one of my favorite quotes that I came across at some point when I was learning to teach, or when I was first starting to teach, I should say. I'm still learning to teach. I've been doing this for close to 8 years, and I still am trying to figure it out. Because it's constantly changing. But the thing is that your instructors, this is the quote, right? I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Okay, so you just listening to an instructor explain something, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. You got to get in there and you've got to engage with the material. You've got to read the text. You've got to watch the videos. You've got to write the code. Right? You've got to understand what's going on. And you've got to push through the frustration, and you've got to push through that feeling of I'm never going to get this, because you will get it. It takes some of us more time than others, and who cares? It's not a race, right? Maybe it takes you 5 hours to write that program that somebody else can do in an hour. So what? Maybe they have more experience than you. Maybe it just comes a little bit more naturally to them. Maybe the way they learn from their professor, it just jives with them a little bit more. So what? So what, right? It's just, do you want to do it? I think anybody can program. If you want to do it, you just have to work hard. Working hard means pushing through the frustration. And if you don't understand something, go back and reread that section for the 27th time. Okay, rewrite that program for the 15th time. Okay, until it finally makes sense, until it finally clicks. Okay, so again, everybody moves through 2 states, right? You start off, you feel frustrated, you don't know what's going on, you think you're never going to get it. Why did I ever take this class? Why did I ever decide this major? Right? And then there's the, oh, of course, I'm awesome. I figured this out. Oh my God, I'm the best ever. Right? It's normal. So don't be too hard on yourself. Don't get down. Don't give up. Fight through it. You got this. You got this. Just be prepared for it. It's going to happen. It's normal. And a good instructor is going to let you, in my opinion, a good instructor is going to let you experience that frustration, so that way you can build up your confidence to know that you actually were able to, do something that was hard and figure it out, and be successful. Right? If your instructors do it for you, if you cheat and let somebody else do it for you, you're never going to experience that. You're never going to grow, and you're never going to get good or competent. Okay? So you have to fight through that frustration. You have to have those struggles. No pain, no gain. Right? And you have to experience that euphoria of figuring it out. You're either going to fall in love with that feeling, or you're not. If you fall in love with that feeling and it makes you laugh, then you picked the right major. Okay? So hang in there. So that's everything I think I wanted to say in this video. Just want to encourage you, don't give up, keep fighting, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.